A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Political Briefing. It's me, your host, QuentinRJiles, and you know we have some things to discuss. I'm so excited that you all are here and ready to chit and chat. You've already seen what the title is about. Y'all already know we have a new time that we're doing this. We're doing this now at 7 p.m. I'm so excited to see you all in the comments. I see y'all. Hey, everybody. Alice Green, Wolf, Kiki, Jay Single. Hey, everybody. April. Hey. How y'all doing? So glad you are here. Let's get into some things. Now, y'all know it has been the second day of the Derek Chauvin Trial. Second day of the Derek Chauvin Trial. And we got to see, more witnesses. We got to see a witness from yesterday. We got to see, well, not see the underage witnesses, but we got to hear at least. Well, we got to hear and see the underage witnesses because they kept showing, I don't know if anybody watched the trial, but there were several times that the prosecution kept showing a photo of the crowd that was looking. I know they were showing the photo to say, hey, this wasn't this huge crowd that could really be super distracting as the defense is suggesting. But we saw the faces of the people in the photo. Like, they didn't blur it out, although they didn't put the camera on the minors. So it was, to me, it was kind of like, okay, but we still see them. So I don't know. Because even they had to identify themselves, right? They had to circle themselves and was like, this was me. So it's like, we still saw them. We just didn't see them verbally talking. But we got to hear that at least. We heard that testimony from minors. We also heard and saw testimony from, one of the other witnesses who happened to be a paramedic. Rosie Love, I see you with the super comment. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm loving the new time too. Yeah, we're going to do this thing earlier. Thank you. Also, if y'all want to give super comments and super chats to let us know how you feel, please do so. But yeah, so we saw that. Now for me, here's my take on everything. I don't know what the defense is going to do, right? Because at the end of the day, once we go through everybody's testimony, the tape is still the tape. And the young lady who happened to be an EMT basically said that as well on the stand. She basically said, I'm glad we have the tape because human memory fades. And she was like, yeah, some things I don't know, I don't quite remember, but we have the tape. And I was like, that's how you do it. Exactly. We got the tape. Okay, we have the tape. Our eyes are not lying to us. Hey, Rose, thank you so much for the super sticker. Our eyes are not lying to us. Hey, Shannon Collins, we all saw that man suffocate him. And what I thought was interesting, not interesting in a great way, was the side-by-side camera angles that the prosecution was giving us. So we saw security feed with cell phone feed kind of matched up, and you can see the other officers that was also on George Floyd, like on his body. So it's clear, it is more than clear after you have subdued this man and had this man in handcuffs that y'all were on him. And we have to say, for the purposes of everybody is innocent until presumed guilty, you allegedly killed him. But we saw what we saw on that tape, and I'm not going to deny my eyes. I know what I saw. Okay, I've been seeing stuff for 32 years. I've been seeing stuff for 32 years. I know what I saw. The man was shackled and passed out under your care, and you definitely leaned in forward and leaned and put your pressure on his neck. The churn, them poor babies so traumatized. If you really think about it, I believe that Derek Chauvin, not only did you take a life, you traumatized people, children and older folks. Right? We saw my guy, Mr. Williams, on the stand earlier today. Really, like, he was no nonsense. I said this yesterday. How interesting. And when I say interesting, I mean, I'm not saying George Floyd had to die, but I believe I know God knew that was going to happen. We just found out. But how interesting is it that the dispatcher, who was the first witness, was like, yeah, we don't normally ever see things on the camera. Like, and that whole thing was there. And she called the sergeant to say, hey, you can call me a snitch. How interesting is it that one of the main other witnesses, Mr. Williams, was skilled in MMA and knows takedown techniques and choking techniques. So he could clearly identify that the man was being choked out. Any human being could have, but specifically because he had that targeted set. How interesting was it that a medic, the firefighter, the EMT, was right there to view the same thing, to see them not render aid, right? So all of that, and it's all on camera. So we see, I kind of feel like it's being served up. Not to say that Derek Chauvin has to fall on a sacrificial altar, if you will. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, in this moment, in this tragedy, there is a clear opportunity to see that something about this was not right, and that something about this type of behavior is pervasive. Because none of them in that moment, maybe one of the other officers, we did get word, not in this trial, I'm sure it'll come up in the later trial, of him saying, maybe we should move him. But none of them had issue. For the most part, none of them had issue with what they were doing. Even when you look at Derek Chauvin putting his hands in his pocket, I'll say getting comfortable, that body language insinuated that he didn't care what he was doing, and he didn't care that cameras were out. He got comfortable in front of those cameras, which lets me know it's pervasive, that behavior like this runs rampant, specifically in that police community, but them at large. Again, back to my earlier point of the lady, the dispatcher coming out saying, you can call me a snitch or not. It's pervasive. It is pervasive. So, the defense right now is throwing everything at the wall because they can't make it make sense, because we see the tape. We see what's going on. They're trying to make it make sense. Well, they're not trying to make it make sense. They're just trying to throw anything. And so you see the defense almost kind of like antagonizing the witnesses, tried to make Mr. Williams, the angry black man, kind of kept honing in on this idea that he was angry. He was rightfully angry, but you're not going to be able to you can do whatever you want to do with the jury. We don't know who those people are, but trying to slap this label on him of an angry black man, and even tried to do that as well with the medic. Like, oh, well, yeah, you were angry, going to their argument that he stated in the opening statement about how the crowd was just so out of control. They were rightfully angry. They were allegedly watching a murder. And what's interesting is that Mr. Williams called the police on the police, and the EMT called the police on the police. Why did they feel the need to call the police on the police, right? So I just feel like that's what I'm going to keep watching throughout this entire trial. That's the thing that's going to keep, keep coming up. We have the video. There's not much more evidence I need. And I feel like I'm gonna say it every night. It ain't much more evidence that I need. I don't care if George, they gonna try to talk about drugs. I don't care if he was on 20 pounds of crack and had went to the moon and got some moon dust and that was gonna make him all erratic. You had him subdued. And when he passed out, you knew he passed out because we saw him when he passed out. You still stayed there and you still applied pressure and you still leaned in and you still had your hands in your pockets and you still had a depraved, I'll say what I perceived as a depraved mind for the life that was under your knee. So there is nothing that the defense can say. And all they seem to be doing is like either antagonizing the witness, using old racist tropes, and just throwing all kind of alternative theories like, oh, well, you MMA, you're not actually a police officer. So how do we know if you're skilled in police training? Baby, if what y'all doing, if I got to be trained for 20 years to see that what you were doing was choking a man's life out, then we need to rethink policing. Or even talking to the EMT. In a way, he tried to challenge, not necessarily her credentials, but kind of challenge her right to say something, saying, how many times has anybody interfered, with law enforcement? But she even testified and said that Tao, the officer of Asian descent that was kind of standing, if you go back to the video, standing in view of everyone's camera, told her, well, if you were a real paramedic or whatever the case may be, then you wouldn't be interfering. And it's like, what are you saying? Even that, right? I could give space for the argument that if I was a cop and we were taking down a suspect, right? And somebody was trying to come in, no, I would block that as well, right? Like, let's parse this thing out. I would block that as well because I don't know. You ain't showed me no identification. You ain't showed me nothing like that. So all I know is my partner is taking somebody down. It's a crowd that's riling up. So I'm going to do crowd control. Parse it out. I'll give you that. But then when you go to, if you really were, you wouldn't be interfering. You are showing me that you are arrogant. You are showing me that you think you are above the law. And you are showing me that you have or you have a depraved mind or deference to the body, to the person that's behind you. That's what they said to me. So that's where my no man Pam comes into play right there. That's what she testified to. She also talked about how she got very emotional, rightfully so. Some of the kids got emotional too. We need to get them babies some therapy because I'm sure they just walking down the street, having lollipops and Jolly Ranchers, didn't know they was gonna stumble across somebody getting murdered allegedly. But she was on the stand and she said she was in great distress because she couldn't do anything because what her training told her to do was to go help. What her training told her to do was go intervene, check a pulse, do some compressions, resuscitate the patient. And they wouldn't allow her to do that. And they wouldn't listen to her direction. Everybody was saying, you're choking him out. You're choking him out. Again, the defense is going to try to make this argument that they were being distracted and they were trying to do crowd control. Moving and you don't feel him not moving under your knee while your hands are in your pocket and no other cop is like, okay, that's a little bit too much. You all collectively allegedly killed him. I gotta say allegedly now, because the platform is growing. I don't have time for people trying to sue us saying we libeling and slandering folks. So we got to hit the allegedly a lot now because everybody is presumed innocent until guilty. Right? Okay. So honestly, that was all of day 2. It wasn't super exciting or exhilarating. What it was just them recounting what they saw. Them stumbling upon this scene, not knowing that was going to be, that. Oh, I need a little emergency. I got a little tickle in my throat. I got some emergency down there. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of that emergency. But that's what we saw. That's what we saw today. And I'm just, for me, honestly, I was asked earlier today, do I think Derek Chauvin is gonna go to jail? If you want me to keep it 100, no, because all the defense has to do is get one juror. It only takes one juror to convict someone on a murder trial. You have to have a unanimous jury, meaning everybody has to agree that he's guilty. If one person hangs out and says, no, there is reasonable doubt, which is all the defense has to prove or make the case for, that there was a reasonable doubt that this person did it, although we saw the tape, but we know we've seen this story, so many times before, then that one person can hang the jury, which means Derek Chauvin would go home. So do I want there to be justice? Absolutely. Am I asking for the death penalty for Derek Chauvin? Y'all already know how I feel about the death penalty. No, ma'am, Pam, abolish the death penalty. I'm not for that. I'm not for any of that. But do I think there has to be consequences to actions? And especially in that particular instance where it was, for me, what I perceived was a clear disregard for another human's life. That's what I perceived. So there has to be accountability for that. Now, am I holding my breath on it? No. I'm going to watch, and I'm going to keep watching, and I'm going to update y'all, and I'm going to report the news, and I'm going to bring you what has happened, because I know everybody be at their job and stuff like that. This is my job. This right here, my job. So I know everybody be at their job or whatever. So I'm definitely going to keep updating y'all. But am I holding my breath? Do I think that he will be held accountable? No. Do I hope I'm proven wrong? Yes. But I'm not holding my breath for it. And that's the sad part. That's the really, really sad part. So yeah, that's what happened in today's trial. That's what happened in today's trial. I watched nothing else. I did not tap into any other news. I was trial focused. That's what we're going to be until the end of this trial. We are going to be trial focused. If something major happens, then we'll, dip back in the Republican, Democrat, all that stuff. It's been kind of refreshing getting away or not even thinking about Lindsey Graham and stuff. I saw he was trending on Twitter earlier. I was like, I'm not even gonna jump into it, baby. Let me stay on George Floyd. But that's what we're going to be laser focused on, which means that might mean the shows are a little short, just like it is right now. So, guys, today that was our daily political briefing. What I will say, I'll share some things with you all. A few things. I am in the process of hiring. We got interns, but hiring some help. Some assistance in brand management, in content strategy and development. So we're going to have real people on payroll, which is crazy. Which is crazy because I've never done this before. So I'm super excited about it. And I just want to thank you all, because all of your super comments and chats and Zelles and all that other stuff, that helps us do these things. So we're growing. I'm just really, really excited about it. I just had a meeting before I got on this live to plan some stuff out with one of the people that I'm bringing on. So yeah, just stay tuned for the content that's going to come. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be great, at least. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it. But anyway, guys, that is it. That's today's daily political briefing. I don't have the Goalie Gummies in front of me, but they are giving 20% away. So y'all need to get that. Y'all need to get that. I didn't bring the Goalie Gummies up in here. Let me find my link. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not get the link, but they did email me and say that they are doing 20%. Child, what my link? Here we go. They're doing 20% on the Goalie Gummies up until the 31st. So you wanna, oh goodness, thank you so much, Stephanie. Hold on, I'm gonna bring that up in 1 second. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Blessing you today. Keep up the good work. Good. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. Y'all, the Goalie Gummies right now, they are doing the 20% promo code discount. So you definitely want to make sure you do the promo code. I believe the 20% ends tomorrow. So get your Goalie Gummies. Get your Goalie Gummies. That's 20%. Y'all know they normally go back down to 10. So get it while it's at 20. Stephanie Smith, I totally thank you and I appreciate you. That is going to go such a long way. You don't even know. That goes such a long way in the grand scheme of things. So I really, really appreciate that. Guys, until next time. Yeah, SM Threat, I think. Yeah, baby. We hiring, baby. Y'all, you never know. Thank you so much, Shannon Collins. And I ain't forgot, we still giving away 3 Patreons. It's just been so much going on. I ain't forgot about it. We still giving that away. Shout out to Shannon Collins for supporting that. Tammy Thurston supported the whole year, and Ray Anthony supported the whole year. So we're going to be giving away 3 Patreons. It's just I got to get my life together. It's just been a lot going on, but I ain't forgot about it. So yeah, we are, and that is based on all of you all's support. So we'll be back tomorrow if Jesus says the same. I'll give you the updates on what is going on with the Derek Chauvin trial. We're going to be in day 3. Until then, dissent, not disrespect. Remember that, people. Love you in the Lord, and I will see you later. A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts.